Hello Sioux Falls and welcome to Planning Preview for the month of July. My name is Jason Bieber with the Planning Office at the City of Sioux Falls, and joining me as always is Janet, our Planning Commission Chair. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
Yeah, another hot day, and looks like we still aren't slowing down much for summer, right?
No, we got a busy agenda
lots
ahead
of big developments going on. So let's get right into it, I think.
All right, we're going to head to the west side of town, kind of over by McGovern Middle School, new development over there that's moving from the single-family residential rural to single-family residential suburban. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so this is kind of a great one. So one of our partners, Southeast Council of Governments, so Lynn Keller Forbes, their company or their nonprofit was actually able to purchase quite a bit of land now, and they've kind of been doing a lot of stuff around the city with moving houses or governor's house programs. So this is kind of nice to actually get to do their own subdivision and gives them a lot more options for places to move these houses to, and then they fix them up or put governor's houses and really try to make them affordable for families. So it's going to be kind of a cool little development, and we don't have to maybe struggle to find these infill lots all the time for them to put houses on. So it's great. And then there's actually a portion on the north side they're looking to partner with somebody else to do some higher density type zoning along the arterials, which we typically like to see. So kind of one of those cool developments, and it's nice that they were able to find some land that's ready to be developed and be able to move some of these houses that
and fill such a huge need in our community for that kind of affordable housing. So very exciting.
Very good project.
All right, then our next one, we're going to the other side of town, on the east side of town, just off Arrowhead Parkway. So we're moving from a commercial to an office district.
Yeah, so this is that Will's Edge development that you've seen along here, and how much that's developed over the last 3 or 4 years, and they're about finishing Arrowhead Parkway and the 6 Mile Road. So big changes over there, and so they're just looking at taking one of their lots and zoning it to office because they're going to do an office use instead of retail. But really cool development, and how much that's been built over, like I said, last 5 years. It's nuts. Yeah,
it looks completely different than how it looked 10 years ago, for sure. And then our next one, it looks like we're doing some rezoning from apartment residential moderate to apartment residential high density. That one's over kind of by north of Southeast Tech, right? Am I in the right part of town here?
You're north of Southeast Tech, north of Jefferson, where we've seen a ton of development over the last same amount of time, to be honest with you. That northwest side's really blown up. So this is a development. If you're up there, he's moving dirt. I don't think he's constructed any houses yet. But this would be a portion that would be on Marion Road, one of our heavy trafficked arterial streets. So just looking to kind of go up to that next density of apartments and really hopefully fill the need with some of those large businesses that went up in Foundation Park. Lots of employees. They kind of need a place to stay out there. So
no, that's perfect. It'll blend in really well there. And then our next one, we are kind of moving from apartment residential low density to general institutional district. So that one's a little different. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, so this is an existing apartment building that's south of 14th Street, kind of in the All Saints Neighborhood Association. They're looking, that was sold by a nonprofit who really focuses more on halfway house type uses, really felon friendly type homes and apartments, and then obviously providing some religious type services for those. So this is one we've had a bunch of neighborhood meetings on, and we're continuing to do that before the Planning Commission meeting in July. Lots of obviously input from the neighbors with some for, some with concerns, and which we typically see with this type of use. So this will kind of be an interesting one going forward. So
right, absolutely. Then our next one is we're moving from conservation commercial to kind of a street. We're to high density, right? Is that where we're moving to? No.
Yep. So we're kind of going to commercial. So this is the southeast corner of 77th and Cliff.
Way out
that
by
vacant.
USF. Okay.
Yep, you're right. Yep, absolutely. Just to the west of those large apartments, and then Veterans Parkway comes through there at the intersection. So a gentleman now that's kind of been some vacant parcel for a while. Obviously with Veterans Parkway starting to get constructed down there, and even Cliff Avenue getting from 85th Street South to the Harrisburg Achievement Academy. A lot more movement out there. I think he's just trying to get it ready for some retail type uses out in that specific intersection. Lots of traffic going to be coming by there in those two intersections. So,
All right, and then our next one is we're rezoning from single-family residential to office district, and that one's out on East 77th, west of Cliff Avenue, kind of Spirit of Peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So the church there. So some office buildings on the south side of the church on 77th, kind of a butt up to it. And I think we've done a couple of these. Spirit of Peace has looked to sell some small portions of ground on their south side, and these office buildings need just a little bit of more space for some parking and maybe for some additions. So it's worked out well, and so that's
perfect.
what we're doing. So.
Okay, and then our very last one is we're moving from a conservation district to a recreation district, and it's something probably everybody knows, Lee Barracks and Day Camp.
Yep, absolutely, yeah. So this is one of those that we found possibly with Shea Places. It was conservation before, so we just converted it over, but really should be more of a recreational use because you do have the camp there instead of just, just an area for water drainage and stuff like that. So more of kind of a private rec facility and cultural center, I think we're going to call it. So that's kind of what we're zoning, trying to fix that. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a full agenda for us. So
lots of big developments. That was like I talked about. Yeah, a lot of big things going on, which is great. Still growing and
very exciting.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and joining us for Planning Preview this month.
Absolutely.
And stay tuned, Sioux Falls. After the break, we'll have Logan Penfield with our housing department to talk about some of the great things they did in 2022 and really talk about where they're looking to go in 2023. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to today's Maintenance Minute. My name is Seth and I'm here with Bruce. We're housing specialists with the city of Sioux Falls. Bruce, I have an older home with a block foundation, and every single spring I seem to get water coming into my basement. How do I take care of that?
Well, there's a lot of different ways you can take a look at that. You can check to see if you've got proper slope away from your house with the grade around the outside. That's one way to fix it. Another way is to do what we've got here, to go around the inside of the foundation and put in drain tile. Come in around, they take the cement out all the way around the perimeter in here, put drain tile down, pour concrete back over the top, put a sump pit in, and then you can discharge the water outside of your home. And that should hopefully take care of any groundwater issues or water coming in from the outside.
So the drain tile collects all the water, drains it into this pit, and the pump actually pumps it outside.
Right. Yep, it's pumped to the outside. There's a hose that's connected out there that can be moved around your yard. Some people use it to try and water their trees or their plants. The biggest thing is get it as far away from your house as possible, but not out onto the street or across the sidewalks.
Great. Well, there you go, folks. If you have an issue with water in your basement, sump pump is the way to go. If you'd like to see if one of our city programs can help you out, call 367-8180 or check us out online at siouxfalls.org.
Welcome back to Planning Preview for the month of July. Joining me now is Logan Penfield with our housing department. Thanks for being on the show this month.
Thanks for having me.
So Logan, you've been our housing manager for pretty close to a year?
It'll be a year on August 1st.
Well, I know from my perspective, and I think a lot of people in our department, it's been great having you. You've got a lot of great ideas and a lot of things that not only that you guys have accomplished so far, but really some fun things that you're looking to do in the next couple years with your department.
Yeah, it's really been an exciting 10 months with the city. Really enjoyed the collaboration, department and citywide. We just had an opportunity about 3 weeks ago to go to City Council Informational and give an overview of all the different projects that we had underway or completed in 2022, and then just kind of touched on where we're going in 2023 as we're kind of prepping for the budget cycle here in the next month.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I wanted you to come on the show, because I know a lot of people do watch City Council. Maybe a lot of them don't really see the City Council informational, so hopefully we can have you on here and maybe a couple more people can kind of get an idea of what you specifically talked about to the City Council.
Yeah, so we had an opportunity with the council to go over our annual performance report. So every year we have to give a performance report to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and we had that submitted and approved recently. So the opportunity to get in front of the council and give them an understanding of what we do with those federal dollars, and then the revolving dollars that we have from utilizing those programs for decades now. Just some really high-level stuff. We got about $1.6 million in federal funding last year, and revolving funds off of that. We were able to leverage that into helping about 500 individuals or 200 households, whichever way you want to look at it there, through connected services. And then for our programs that we administer internally, the single family rehab program, the rental rehab program, we were able to help about 300 individuals through those programs. So it was a really substantial impact. We started 155 different single family rehab programs. Those are loans. They're zero interest. They're deferred to income restricted individuals that own houses and that need some help doing some upkeep or some updating, and it really has been a fantastic program now in the city for decades.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great programs you guys do. I know we get to see a lot of the before and afters, and just how you can help a neighborhood come along with just allowing people that maybe can't afford to do some of the maintenance things to their house, allowing them to give them that loan to be able to do those type of things and really transform their property. So that's a great program. The other one that I thought was really good that you guys are doing is that police and fire, where you're providing them with a down payment for a house in a certain census tract. Do you know how many of those you were able to do in 2022? Or
Yeah, so we had 3 houses that were purchased by first responders, public safety employees, and we also target those funds into certain areas of the city. So it's qualified census tracts. It's great to see, a police officer down the street or a firefighter down the street. It's good for the entire neighborhood. And so we were able to complete 3 of those last year. We have, I think there's 8 more individuals that are approved for the program and are just looking for the right house within those neighborhoods. And we have a handful of applications that will likely be approved shortly as well. So there's more in the process there. It's a great program. If you are interested in applying, go to siouxfalls.org/housing. Or, if you're looking through that program and you're interested, it's up to $20,000 in down payment assistance for safety officials in the city of Sioux Falls, firefighters, police officers, highway patrolmen, that type of line of work.
Yeah, it's a great program, and I think it's important, like you talked about, it's only in certain neighborhoods, right? We're not talking about the suburban area of the city that has, $1 million houses. This is kind of some of our core neighborhoods, like where you said it's great to have a police officer or a firefighter down the street. So I think that's a great program. So I think anything else in 2022 that you feel like is that you would want to highlight as something that is a great accomplishment that you feel your department completed?
We've had additional utilization of the multifamily or the rental rehab program. That's really taken off. That's a 8-year low interest loan to rehab apartment units. Those are generally right in that workforce range when we look at the rents that are included there. We've actually maxed that program out. It refills quickly. It's a revolving loan. It's 8 years at 3%. The first 6 months are 0. So with interest rates climbing, we've really seen additional utilization of that, and a lot of really, really successful outcomes as far as not only fixing up apartment units, but maintaining the affordability of those apartment units moving forward is great.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great things. I know you guys your team has accomplished a lot of great things in 2022, and actually just getting that stuff approved by HUD, I'm sure that wasn't hard at all, right? They don't require any paperwork or nothing?
Just a couple minor headaches.
So thank you for updating us in 2022. So let's talk a little bit about what's your goals and some of the things you're working on for 2023.
Well, I think the hope is to see the single family rehab program really continue to take off. Like I said, last year was a banner year as far as that program and the utilization of it. We've expended all or most of the multifamily, the rental rehab dollars. We're hoping to do another dozen projects on the neighborhood revitalization program, which is the partnership with nonprofits to develop new affordable housing. We are hopeful that the public safety down payment assistance program, that those individuals and families that have been approved for that down payment assistance are able to find houses within the core, within those qualified census tracts. So, just continue to operate those programs successfully. There's some really exciting stuff that the city has partnered with going forward. Interlakes Community Action Partnership bought the old Children's Inn facility and is retrofitting that into a one-stop shop. They're going to be able to take on homeless families over there as part of the programs that they administer, which is going to be really helpful to the entire community with Bishop Dudley housing those now, and then transitioning those over to a larger facility will open up some capacity elsewhere. There's just a lot of exciting projects going on around the city, and there's potential for more with the state releasing the final rules for their $200 million housing infrastructure fund. Sioux Falls qualifies for a portion of 30% of those dollars. So there's a lot of talk right now around how those will be utilized, and excitement, I think, moving forward.
So do you have a pretty good, clear idea of what you can use that $200 million for, or our percentage of that $200 million? Do you kind of have it? Are they still kind of trying to finalize that and really get down to what we can use it for, maybe projects that we can use it for?
So the states released the rules. The application should be coming out in the next few days. We have an understanding of what the type of projects that can be used with those dollars, how those dollars can be utilized within a project. There's a grant portion and a loan portion. So there's a good chunk of funds available there for Sioux Falls and Rapid to split up. We're starting now to get an understanding of what projects are out there in the community that they intend to apply for these dollars. There's projects that involve partnerships with nonprofits, with nonprofits partnering together and with nonprofits partnering with the city. And then, we're just looking at what other projects we need to be ready to help move through the process in coming weeks.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, and I think that's one thing that's great about our department is that type of collaboration where we're all kind of working together to make sure that if we're going to invest in a project or invest in some infrastructure, that's maybe the best bang for our buck type of deal, or on where we would locate that or where we would move to maybe open up some land a little earlier for some type of housing. So
100%, and it's been, the one team, one city approach has been evident all the way through, from obviously having to communicate with engineering, public works, the attorney's office, because the resolutions will have to go through council, the mayor's office, pulling everybody together, planning, working on this. It's all hands on deck, but everybody is, very in the loop. It's a lot of coordination, because a lot of coordination is necessary for big projects like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's getting to be about budget time for 2024. I know we're at the stage where we're about, ready to go to present to the council and that stuff. Any big plans with that money for 2024? Any increases that you're looking at to provide some new or some enhanced programs like the single family rehabilitation or any of those for next year?
Yeah, there's going to be some requests for plussing up some of those programs now that they've really continued to take off. Like I said, interest rates are a piece of that, when you can apply for a zero interest deferred loan that you don't have to repay until you sell the house, and or the rental rehab program where we get some income restrictions on that or some rental restrictions as far as unit price to make sure that there's additional workforce housing available in the city, and we're also cleaning up properties that probably haven't had the necessary investment over the years. There's going to be some additional asks and plussing up those. We talked about this at council too, but we try to identify what we're good at and lean into that, and we find partners that are very good at what they do, and we want to support them. And so, with the programs that we do have in place, that we do administer, the single family rehab, the rental rehab, mobile home repair, all those, we've fully leaned into trying to support those as much as possible and make sure that the budget's there to do it. And so far, we haven't had an issue there. And then, where in the community can we continue to partner, whether it's neighborhood revitalization projects, to build more affordable housing, or to even rehab housing, in certain areas that'll maintain affordability. We're looking at all the different options there, and we've had support. Obviously, the administration's been very supportive. The council has been very supportive every time we've went in front of them. So, just trying to find ways to best utilize the funding that we have available is where we're at right now. Yeah,
and I think you guys have had such a great 2022 and already seeing really great things in 2023. And I think from a city perspective, our department perspective, can't wait to see 2024 and the future with your guys' programs, and really you're starting to see a lot of those programs come to fruition and start to actually turn neighborhoods around and really start helping the city out quite a bit for that affordable housing or accessible housing thing that seems to be a problem in every city in the United States, essentially. So.
Yeah, it's been a lot of really exciting stuff in just shy of a year now. There's been a lot of different projects that we've started and that are finishing up, and seeing those results is really energizing, not only for me but for the entire housing division, and I think the entire department. So excited to see what happens in 2024 and the different projects that we're still getting off the ground here for the second half of 2023.
Totally agree. Well, thanks for coming on the show with us again. Probably like your second or third time, but every time it's such great information, and I don't think our viewers really get to hear a lot about the housing programs and some of the amazing things that your department does, or your division does within our department. It's a really great thing. So hopefully maybe we'll have you on next year and talk about 2023 and where we're going in 2024. So
sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. And thanks for joining us for Planning Preview for the month of July. Just to be clear, this month, the Planning Commission meeting is actually going to be on Thursday, July 6th. Because of the July 4th holiday on a Tuesday, the council then does move to Wednesday. So the Planning Commission meeting will be on Thursday, July 6th at 6 o'clock at the Carnegie Town Hall. And as always, you're able to come and provide input on any of the agenda items we talked about tonight. And we do also have that 5-minute comment period at the end of agenda to talk anything planning related. So thanks, Sioux Falls, and have a great day.